I'll be straightforward. This is based on the current mass deportations, mostly of Mexicans, happening in the US, the repercussions caused in the news and on social media. Let's imagine a scenario where all of the southern region is given to Mexico, and from now on, everyone earns in pesos. What do you think most Mexicans would do? Would they stay there to help develop that region? Or would they want to move north, cross these new hypothetical borders, just to earn in US dollars? Of course, the latter option would likely happen. Try to imagine how many different stories and backgrounds come from all of these migrants. I bet many of them are genuinely willing to work their asses off in an honorable manner. If I could work just as hard to earn in a currency that buys me much more in my home country, I prefer that too. The problem is that many illegals have questionable backgrounds, bringing new or additional problems to another country. That's why a proper migration process is necessary. In a perfect world, everyone would be honest and wouldn't cause any trouble. But we know that's not what happens. Come on, illegals know what they're doing and the risks involved. For example, imagine little Sergio here, who wants to watch an F1 race from the best spot possible. He's offered the spot right in the middle of the track to really experience the race up close. The only drawback is that he has a high chance of being hit by the cars racing. If he accepts the terms, he knows the possible consequences. He could enjoy 15 laps from the best spot, but at any moment, he could be hit and possibly die. Ooh. That's what illegally entering a country means. You can try your luck, but US law clearly states that you will suffer the consequences eventually. I'd kind of understand this being reasonable for people who have nothing to lose. But what about migrants who cross the border with kids and/or pregnant women? You irresponsible moron. Everyone wants to improve their lives, which is fair enough. However, for most, the solution is earning more money. Money is the lord of this world, and this sucks. Money equals power, power to improve people's lives and live more comfortably than others. And some would do anything to have access to this sweet power. What many have yet to see is that the system is broken and made for others to suffer. Will the government and people of Mexico ever do something to make Americans jealous of them? Everyone knows the country has been taken over by cartels, and the powerful ones want it to stay exactly as it is. This is infuriating. And cut the crap with those crocodile tears, just for your followers to think you're compassionate. The illegals knew what they were getting to. Instead of doing that, you should be exposing what honest and hardworking Mexicans face every day because of a shitty government. If things weren't so bad there, they wouldn't feel desperate to live in the first place. If you really cared about them, there'd be no need to cry in front of a camera for others to see. I can't believe people still fall for these narcissistic behaviors, unless they're teenagers. Back then, people fought for pieces of land to serve as a foundation for the nation to prosper. What's the motivation of those rallying against these deportations? If not for political clout, it's to earn US dollars and be assured that they are in a better situation than many of their relatives back home. Don't get me wrong, I prefer earning the most valuable currency too, but if we didn't have a shitty system that only favors those who already have dollars, many of these problems could have been solved. Again, those in power prefer the way it is, because in every crisis, someone profits. I know how it is to live in a shitty country, so I kind of understand where most of this motivation comes from. But to those who live in a developing country and have considering moving to the US, would you still do it if the currency were less valuable than yours? And to Americans, would you move to Mexico if the currency were stronger than yours? I don't think so. Unfortunately, this is not just a matter of moving to a country with better job opportunities. I can't see this ever changing because ahead of any honest intention to prosper, there is already corruption and cultural complacency. I honestly feel bad for the honest migrants, and for those who find pleasure in seeing others suffer, be grateful for what you have first and imagine being in these people's shoes. Thank you for listening to my take on this. Any constructive comments would be appreciated. Question everything and stay hydrated.